Howdy, Ekanalo, H2Os, Roller Bros, and Dark Cry Dark Gamings alike. Okay, buddy, I gotta give you some advice on that name. 1, gaming does not have an E in it, and 2, I think your name has one too many darks in it. Just some honest feedback. I hope you're mad successful with your YouTube career. We're doing some, Am I the Antagonist today? We've got some very interesting stories to go over, so let's get right into it. Am I the antagonist for distancing myself from my best friend after his extremely misogynistic word choice? Sam, let's go with that name, and I have been really close friends since middle school. So when his ex and him got back together in high school, I obviously got very close to his ex too. While we aren't as close as I was to Sam, we had tons of things in common. We are both women in tech companies who love working out and have a lot of shared experiences. Now, Sam got cheated on by his ex of 12 years. I was devastated when I came to know that his ex had cheated on him with multiple partners over a time period of 7 years. I can't imagine what he's going through right now. It's only been a week since Sam got cheated on, and we went to a bar together and I attempted to console him. Unfortunately, during this process, he let out extremely sexist words. He called his ex a B-word and a whore word. Aside from this, he also called her the C-word and told me that he had to try his hardest not to slam his fists at the door or throw things at her when he came to know of her betrayal. This honestly freaked me out because I never imagined Sam as a guy who would be crappy enough to throw things at women. His derogatory language made me really uncomfortable, and I told him that he had to become a good human being again if he wanted to continue being friends with me. I don't want to be friends with someone who refers to women like that. Just wanted some extra insight that would help. Edit, since a lot of you seem to be terrified of him being violent, he was talking about throwing pillows in frustration, obviously not hitting her or anything close to that. But I do feel like throwing pillows or being frustrated to that extent is a valid example of toxic masculinity, and I'm angry at my friend for being such a bad person for even thinking about it. Something leads me to believe that this individual that wrote this Am I the Antagonist post has never been cheated on before. It flips your entire world upside down, and I can't imagine not being able to relate to somebody who is going through that level of pain and feeling that sort of betrayal. Yeah, he said some negative words about her, but I don't think saying words at someone is quite equivalent to having intercourse with other people over the course of your relationship. And also, yeah, he might have thought about throwing things, but he didn't actually throw anything. And I mean, isn't it a trope for a woman to throw a guy's clothes out onto the street and throw his stuff out of the house after she finds out he's been cheating on her? So is it flipped now that it's a problem if a man even thinks about doing that? I don't know, your post seems kind of sexist in my opinion. And I don't know this woman, maybe she condemns women throwing things at dudes when they get cheated on as well, but I don't like the use of toxic masculinity in this case. I feel like it's a misuse of that term at best. But at the end of the day, as much as I disagree with your actions and your choice to not be friends with this person anymore, you can choose to be friends and not be friends with anybody you want. If this is a deal breaker for you, then go ahead, don't be friends with them anymore. Am I the antagonist for pointing out to my friends that they are not famous? My friends are dating, they're also actors who have small roles on a few TV shows. I'm talking 2 lines or less. I say this not to be a hater, I am truly rooting for them, but to give you a scope of their reach, neither of them have a following in real life or on social media. They've got under 1,500 followers combined. Anyway, last week I posted a group picture on Instagram of people celebrating a friend's birthday. Everyone in the photo has got their arms around each other's shoulders, very platonic. Anyway, yesterday in a group chat between the 3 of us, they asked me to take the photo down because they didn't want the public to know that they are dating. I would consider it if they looked bad, too sloppy drunk, etc., but they don't. Also, everyone has their arms around each other, not just them. Anyway, I asked them what they meant, and they said they didn't want to end up in gossip rags. I pointed out that they are not famous, and they don't even have functioning IMDb pages. They were livid and called me a bunch of names. I think they're delusional, but they've been texting me, demanding it, and even sent me screenshots of them reporting it. Nothing has happened yet. At this point, I don't even want to be their friend. However, and probably because I'm an antagonist, I don't want to delete it based solely on principle. Edit. Okay, so many of y'all are right. I suppose I should separate how I feel about their ridiculous, delusional, stupid reasoning with the fact that no one should have an image of themselves online that they don't want made public. I'll take it down. Alright, I'm glad that you came to a reasonable conclusion because, yeah, as ridiculous as they are, they don't deserve to have their stuff out there if they don't want it. But, like, you might want to consider distancing yourselves from these people because if they're like this, with 1,500 followers combined in a few two-line TV show appearances, imagine how bad they'll be when they actually blow up. I don't know, just something to think about since you already said you don't want to be friends with them anymore earlier in the story. Am I the antagonist for allowing two teenagers to be spit on by a llama? I love this story already. I work at a petting zoo here, and this weekend we had two teenagers, around 16, boyfriend and girlfriend, who were antagonizing a llama. I told them, you might want to cut that out, llamas spit in self-defense, but they kind of laughed my warning off. Now, I knew that llama spit was a whole lot worse than they probably thought it was, but I decided not to tell them about it. I figured if they persisted, I'd trust the llama to teach them a lesson. The llama was being patient. At one point, it gave them a warning spit, just saliva, and they went ew and laughed about it and brushed it off and then kept going at it. Finally, the llama had had enough and unleashed its green defensive spit that llamas are known for. It got the girl square in the face. She dropped to her knees and started retching and eventually threw up. Her boyfriend was gagging and ran away towards the building that I was in. To make things worse for them, I didn't even let them come in to wash up in the petting zoo's only bathroom. It was a slow day, so I just locked the doors. I told them I didn't want the smell inside and made them leave the farm without washing up. Am I the antagonist? The girl's parents called me the next day and yelled at me saying it was too harsh. Maybe it was. I knew that if you don't wash out llama spit right away, the smell sinks into your skin and becomes extremely hard to remove, but I wanted the lesson to sink in as well. Okay, so I have mixed feelings on this. Do I think the person that wrote this is the antagonist? No, I honestly don't, because these people were tormenting an animal. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing. If I had more detail about that, maybe it could be a more cut and dry thing. I also think that maybe you should have, like, taught them a better lesson, maybe allow them to wash up and then maybe tell them about the consequences of messing with an animal like that. I feel like this situation could lead them to just be professional victims and think that they did nothing wrong with this situation and it was your fault and the llama's fault instead of their fault for what happened to them. I don't know. Alright, another Am I the Antagonist involving the use of derogatory words towards women, this time a little bit different. Let's see how this plays out. Am I the antagonist for grounding my daughter because she called my sister-in-law a slut? My daughter, 14 years old, posted a picture of a family get-together on social media. A boy from school recognized her aunt from an adult film and messaged my daughter about it. I believe he sent a video to her as well. Before this, she had no idea her aunt was in the industry. It appears the boy spread this around school and my daughter is being teased for it. I notified the school and they are looking into it and will plan to educate the students about sexism online. My husband and I are respectful and non-judgmental of my sister-in-law's profession and have tried to teach these values to our children. My daughter is understandably upset and I feel for her, but she is directing all her anger and blame towards her aunt. She unfriended my sister-in-law from social media and removed all traces of her from her profiles. She refuses to join us for weekly dinners at my sister-in-law's house, and when they come over, she ignores them and just sits in her room playing Minecraft. I tried talking to her about tolerance, shame, and sexism, but she is dismissive of all of it. My sister-in-law is hurt from all of this. Not only did she have her privacy invaded, but she lost a good relationship with her niece. Last weekend, I went upstairs to my daughter's room to try and talk to her and get her to join us downstairs. My daughter refused and referred to my sister-in-law as a vapid slut and her husband a pathetic cuck, along with other slurs I don't want to repeat. I grounded her for 3 months and took away her internet. My husband definitely thinks she should be punished for using that language, but that's too much. He also admitted that he struggled with accepting his sister's career path at first. He thinks she just needs space and will come around eventually because her aunt is family. Edit. It seems like my husband is right and I went too far with the punishment. I just never imagined those hurtful words coming from her mouth. I'm going to scale it back to 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. We'll decide with the husband later. We're definitely concerned for our daughter about what's happening at school and we're looking into therapy. For clarification, as for my sister-in-law's privacy, she didn't consent to have her real name revealed to the world or have her films and her personal information be passed around by 14-year-old boys. Of course she didn't. Alright, this is not a fun situation to be in. I feel very bad for the parents and the daughter and the sister-in-law in this situation. It's definitely not the sister-in-law's fault here. All of the fault is on the 14-year-old boys, not for showing it to the daughter because, you know, they're idiots. Everybody in this situation at that age is an idiot, doesn't really know what they're doing in that sort of situation, but the people that spread it around are the real problem here, obviously, and people that started making fun of the daughter as a result. Now, as far as your daughter recovering from this and learning to accept your sister-in-law, it's gonna be a process. Like, I do think she should be punished for saying those things. I don't even know if 2 or 3 weeks is too much time, but, like, how do you deal with that as a kid? You're a 14-year-old kid, and you were shown a pornographic film with your aunt in it. Like, that is genuinely scarring. So, like, yeah, get her into therapy as soon as possible. Start talking to her about it as well. I honestly don't know if she should be around the aunt for a while, because I don't think she's able to properly process her aunt existing as both her aunt and as a porn star. Like, that's very complicated for a young person to have to deal with. Ugh, this just sucks, man. Okay, I can't guarantee this will be the last time I talk about this, but just so you know, I did work on a super cool video with my buddy Crimson Studios and Nicholas Diorio. It's out on Crimson Studios' channel right now. My section of that video is like half of it. I really implore you to check it out. We talk about this strange family vlog, the Ingham family, and some of the controversies they've gone over, and why they seem to be immune to this controversy, and their fan base just seems to believe them in every single scenario. So feel free to check that out. I will link it in the comments down below. In the description, you can find all of my social media, Amazon affiliate links, the merch link if you're interested in checking out some delicious merch. Skate on the best of your abilities, guys. Please make sure you're drinking more water and staying safe out there. I'll see you very soon.